Well, it's been a while, but welcome back to Matchday Live Extra. Happy New Year as well, with all the Christmas COVID cancellations. Finally, I'm back in the presence of my good friend, Hall of Famer Andy Thompson, and lovely to see the former Wolves captain Sam Ricketts joining us on Matchday Live Extra as well for this game here at Old Trafford. Wolves against Manchester United to kick off 2022, hoping for a first victory here since 1980. I wasn't even born. Tomo was coming towards the end of his career.
You weren't the only
Sam
one
was,
not born, Mikey. You were not the only one
yes,
not born.
yes.
Just you,
Shush,
Tomo.
Sam.
Just you.
Come on. Just me, mate. On my own.
We will get into that, and we'll talk a little bit about Wolves defensively as well, with Sam's insight into what it takes to be just quite this good in keeping clean sheets at this level. We'll also talk about Romain Saiss and about Man United in general. But before we get into any of that, boys, Tomo, it's 15 days since they were last playing. We know that a couple of the players, we don't know exactly who, have been out with COVID in the last 10 days or so. So what will the break have done for Wolves, do you think?
Well, look, so they always talk about players having a rest during this time. And I know that a lot of managers are calling for not so many games over Christmas. For me, I think it's tradition, isn't it, for all those games over Christmas. People look forward to it. As a player, I used to love it. And I'm sure Sam will probably say the same. I know it's tiring, but there's nothing better than playing football over Christmas. It's great to have and great to watch. I've missed it. I have really missed the games with all the postponed games, especially us. And it's just one of them, part and parcel of what you think over Christmas. That's what it's going to come. But look, the players have spent a little bit more time with the family. I think that some of the players, as you just mentioned there, had COVID or symptoms of COVID or whatever they had. Again, we don't know who it was, but what it will do is just give people a little bit more time around the family. Maybe not want to spend with the family as much, but it's just one of those things. So, like for me, Christmas is all about football and the games coming thick and fast.
Yeah, I agree. I think as players, you want to play games, and you have the break. Everyone wants a break, and a lot of managers say they want a mid-season break. I think now this could do Wolves a little harm today going into the game. United have played, and they played a fair few games and made a few changes today. But sometimes when you do have a break for 14, 15 days, wherever it is, you get out of the routine of playing, don't you, Thomas? That's what you're saying. You like playing Saturday, Tuesday over Christmas. You get into the routine of playing. Yeah, you're aching, you're a bit sore, but you're in that like mindset. When you don't play for that amount of time, you get used to being at home, spending more time with your family, and it can take you a game or two to get back in the rhythm of playing actual matches again.
But the fact that you talk about that getting into a rhythm, 15 days without a game, likely without a fair amount of training, Sam, too, given the fact that they've had players off as well. So how much of an impact does that have? Or are we in the realms of they are such honed professionals nowadays that actually it kind of might not have too much of an impact?
I think it could have an impact in today's game. I think the 2-week break might help them out in 2, 3, 4 weeks' time when they've got back in. I do feel that when teams don't play for this amount of time, it can take them a couple of games to get back in the rhythm. We'll see today. Fitness-wise, the lads will all be okay. They didn't eat what we ate on Christmas Day, that's for sure. Certainly not me now anyway, with the amount of chocolates I've eaten and everything else. But no, these lads really would have looked after themselves. They'll be fit, they'll be lean, they'll just be out of that routine of playing the games, really. And that's my point of view. And that's not even throwing COVID in the mix like you said. Who has been able to, how hard have they trained? I think it will take them a game or two to get back into the swing of it.
It's kind of meant that we've obviously missed a couple of games, but we are effectively at that midpoint of the campaign now, Tomo. And, listen, you've been alongside me every single game. What have you made of Wolves so far? Mid-season report, what are you giving them?
I think they've done really well. Look, we started off really well, playing some great football, creating opportunities, giving teams who we thought were going to run all over us, but vice versa, the way that we played. I thought that we played, in especially the first 3 games, the opportunities that we created. Unfortunately, we couldn't score. But it's kind of swung round a little bit more now where we're defensive, very sound, we've created opportunities, but not as many. It started to reduce as the season went on so far with opportunities that we created. And if we can just get that balance right about the attacking top third, because the defending has been brilliant. The way that they defended, you've seen it again against Chelsea, keeping them out. But we've just got to try and get that balance right where we've got to go forward and score some more goals. Do we need a new signing? Possibly. An injection of somebody up front. But I know Neto's coming back. But do we need to wait for him? And we need to start scoring a lot more goals.
Well, one of the players who is coming back is Ryan Giles, who has been recalled today from his loan at Cardiff. He will add something a little bit different, Sam, down that left-hand side. It'll be interesting to see kind of where he is in his development and whether they might use him in a little bit more regular effect.
Yeah, he is a real attack-minded. Whether he plays at wing-back, he's a real attack-minded wing-back or left of a front three. Quick, really good delivery with his left foot into the box. He will fire balls into the box time and time again. And like you said, his progression was, I had him in League One. He's gone into Cardiff, and I've seen he's had a number of assists there and done well. So it's an opportunity now. I think he's got a manager who will back him, trust him, believe in him, and now it's up to Ryan now to see how he does. Can he fill that void? Can he put that attacking impetus in the team? Which I feel like what Tomo was saying, really, like the team's gone 2 steps forward and 1 step back in terms of their development. But it's a evolution, not revolution. What's trying to happen? So I agree, all the signs are encouraging. You just want to get a few more chances, and when you get the chances, you need to score because you are more open then when you are obviously being more attack minded.
Normally we would do like a player of the season so far. Tomo and I pretty much both agree that Max Kilman is our player of the year so far. We've talked about him loads over the last couple of weeks. And then we kind of thought about a moment of the season so far or a goal of the season so far. In truth, there hasn't really been that many to kind of go through. So Tomo and I very quickly discussed, and I think we were going for Raul Jimenez against West Ham.
Yeah,
Tomo?
I just think the build-up for it, wasn't it? So straight from the back, straight up the front, quality balling, but it was all about the finish, wasn't it, from Jimenez? So look, it's a great finish, and that's what it was all about. We just need to do a lot more. That's all it is. Because we're keeping the clean sheets down the other end, but we've just got to be putting that ball in the net. And so for 2022, that's my wish would that we score more goals because the team's done really well. First half of the season, they've done really well. Kept teams out and quality teams as well. Unfortunate about the start, but very pleased with the way that we performed in those first few games. So we just got to try and maintain it. And as I said, get that balance right.
Well, we'll talk about defensively and maybe how Wolves can score some goals today with Sam in just a second. We'll also get Gemma Frith giving us this game in context after we've looked back on the last time Wolves were in action. It feels like a long time ago against Chelsea at Molineux. People stand on the far side. We as ever sit at the front of the top tier of the Billy Ryan. Here's an interception by Raul Jimenez on halfway. Pedence is infield to his Ryan side. Jimenez still charging. Pedence will take over. Pedence fancied having a go, and that took a deflection off Thiago Silva and will be a Wolves corner. Hoover, well played, infield to Moutinho, looking to drive through the middle of the half. Jimenez ahead of him, to the left-hand side to Marcel. Jimenez missed it, surely it's in by Daniel Pedence, and Wolves have got themselves the lead. What a wonderful sweeping move, expertly finished by Daniel Pedence. Well, the offside flag is now up. Yeah, the goal has been disallowed. Jimenez definitely offside. Daniel Pedence wasn't. Pedence on the left-hand side. Marcel's back out there with him now. Pedence cutting in front on his right foot, looking to loop across in. Dendonker's header, good save by Mendy. Low down to his left-hand side. Everybody bar Pedence is back defending. Headed away by Marcel at the near post. Straight back to Mason Mount, the corner taker. Looks to just drill this one. It's headed by Jimenez. Drops to Chalabar. Now whipped back in, but well claimed by Jose Sarr. It's a dangerous whipped in ball. Saïssi's header comes to Mason Mount, who struck and was closed down by Leander Dendoncker. The bounce has helped it into the path of Conte. Alonso infield looking for the run of Pulisic. Pulisic into the penalty area. Massive save from Jose Sarr. Brilliant interception. He hasn't had a huge amount to do this afternoon, but once again Jose Sarr comes to Wolves' rescue.
Time and time again. How many times do he do it? And we speak about like clean sheets and the way that the back line of Wolves defend.
And they've been on the back foot. It's been another rearguard performance. Corner goes to the far post. Rudiger got his head to it, but loops it high over the crossbar for a goal kick.
Well, it feels like it's been a while since we were last at a match. 2021 may not have ended quite as we expected, with both our Watford and Arsenal games postponed, but we are kicking off 2022 here at Old Trafford for Man United v Wolves. Now, Old Trafford is a stadium that's caused us some problems in the past few years, with our last victory here actually coming 42 years ago when we did the league double over Man United back in 1980. But today we're looking to build upon the momentum that we built before the festive period, taking 4 points from a possible 6 with back-to-back clean sheets. Jose Sarr's defensive record has gone from strength to strength, with a joint league-high 80% save percentage, which will be put to the test today against a Man United side that have scored in each of their last 7 matches.
Gemma Frith giving us the context of today's game. Let's go through the team news then. 2 changes that Bruno has made for this one. You can see Nelson Semedo returning on the right side of the back 5 or in the midfield, whichever way you like to look at it. We've gone from 3 midfielders last time out to just the 2, with Ruben Neves and João Moutinho. Means Francisco Trincao comes into the starting lineup. So back to 4-3, 4-2-3, whatever you want to go with it, Tomo. 5-2-3. I mean, realistically, they're a little bit more attacking, aren't they?
Yeah, so that's what they've done. They've brought that a more attacking player into it. But he's just got to make sure they fill in and help out in the midfield area. If Man United start to have a lot of the possession, a lot of the ball, we've got to get just somebody to tuck back in there and just to help the midfields there. But also, as well, we've seen it time and time again where we've played really well in the first half, and that second half we've struggled to retain possession of the ball. And that's something that we've got to do a lot better again this year, where if we are under the cosh a little bit, that we've got to be able to get that ball up to them, and it's got to stick. Jimenez has worked his row out, and he can't just do it on his own. He needs help up there. But it's all about options. When we've got the ball, we've got to have options on the ball. We've got to have opportunities to actually pass the ball. People running behind as well is the thing for me. Can you get behind those back line of the defenders?
Well, that debate is always going to come back to Adama Traore, isn't it?
It is.
I'm interested in Sam's thoughts on this, because as someone who doesn't watch Wolves week in, week out, do you look at that team sheet and kind of go, why is Adama on the bench?
I see Adama on the bench because I think that's him. You know, he's got so much potential and so much. He probably a year, 18 months ago, he was getting talked up about going to bigger clubs. And I think it's consistency, that final end product is just why he hasn't done. And then it's probably how you end up out of the team a little bit as well. Because I think this is probably his sort of level. A match winner when he's on it, and when he's not, he doesn't always add a lot to it. I look at that today and I think, has he gone 3 up top? Because anyone who saw the Newcastle Man United game, Newcastle went for Man United right from the very top, didn't allow them any easy build-up, didn't allow the keeper to run out easy every time, pressed every time. And Newcastle really outrun them and should have gone on and won the game. So I wonder if that's why he's done the 3. And then also, you just look at Traore, don't you think, coming on with 20, 30 minutes to go, be a defender's nightmare, especially at Old Trafford. As the longer the game goes on, you imagine they'll get a little bit more control of the game. Bring him through the team pitch, not a problem. And it could be your match winner with 20, 30 to go, certainly.
Well, Wolves have done brilliantly defensively this season. They are going to be forced into a defensive change after this game, with Romain Saiss going away with Morocco. But he has played his part. I mean, we're going to see some clips of him here against Brighton. I mean, defensively, Sam, he just seems to have got better and better this year. And alongside Max Kilman and Connor Cody, as a unit, and you know how difficult this is to shut teams out as often as they are doing so.
You never worry about, it's like Connor going back, Romain going back, and I know he's played in the back 3 now for a fair few games, but you always worry that, is the mentality one of a midfielder as opposed to an actual defender? Does he know where to be subconsciously? Will he put his body on the line? And to be fair, he's grown into the role and learned and developed over the last year or 2 years, he's been playing there more regularly, and he's really developing into a bit like Conor Cody now. You wouldn't say Conor Cody is a midfielder playing a defender, and you'd probably say the same about Remain as well. Just a really good understanding as well. The three lads at the back, they've played enough games together. They'll know where each other are defensive-wise, and I think they'd have a real good spirit between the three of them as well, in terms of like talking during the game, driving each other on as well.
Well, Tomo, they started referring to him as the Moroccan Maldini now, but he and Marçal down that left-hand side have that kind of little bit of a word that we can't say on air about them. The last part of it ends with housery. That they have that devilment, shall we say, that maybe has been a key impact to tightening up at the back.
Yeah, but it comes down to experience, doesn't it? The two of them have got a lot of experience in games. But Saez and the other two lads alongside Kilman and Cody have played really well, exceptional. So if you're thinking about the teams that we played and the results that we've had, okay, we've lost a few of the games, 1-0. But you just look at the way that they're just combined with each other and the way that they play. They've been outstanding so far.
But Sam, you watch those clips, and as a defender, it's not like he's making last-ditch tackles, is it? He's reading the game in an awful lot of those moments.
Yeah, position really, really good. So whether he's got that natural or developed on it, but he's in the right area. Crosses coming in, he's fine with that near post where you need to be as a back three, getting his head in the way. But you see the clips with him on the ball. If you end up with a team really good on the ball, you end up not actually having to do too much out-and-out old-fashioned defending, heading and kicking, because you dominate the ball so much. But you would look at Liverpool Wolves' back three and think, would they be a little bit soft? In terms of none of them are your big. They don't. They fight. They grit. And then, like I said, they're in the right position more times than not to stand up and be counted defending. And they're all brave. They'll all block a shot as well. And they're not afraid to put their body on the line or pull out of the way.
Yeah, and another point as well to say to you, Mike, as well, the three lads at the back as well and the keeper are very comfortable with the ball at the feet. They're very comfortable to try and pick that pass out into midfield or just trying to get to the striker. And that's made a massive difference to us as well. Again, it just got to make sure we try and do it in that second half of the games, because that's what's let us down a little bit.
Well, let's hope they can keep a clean sheet again today. Let's hear from Bruno. Here's what he had to say ahead of facing Man United.
We spent two weeks without games, so that's one concern for me, because we come with the two good games against Brighton and against Chelsea. Also, the previous games it was very good for us because the team were there and play well against Man City and Liverpool, hard games, and the team were there. We create our chances, we play our game, we play as a team, and now we stay 2 weeks without games. Some players with COVID, so that's why I need these 2 days to understand better which players are fit to play, and for sure that's my concern. If they have the rhythm to play at that level after these two weeks without games.
So Wolves against Manchester United then. This has not been a happy hunting ground of recent years. We'll look back on the game here last year, which ended in a little bit of heartbreak. We had heartbreak when we played Manchester United at home earlier in the season as well, Tomo. All the way back to 1980, the last time Wolves beat Manchester United here at Old Trafford. I know it's only 13 games, so it's not quite as bad as that, but there is something about coming to this place that certainly Wolves have found so difficult over the years.
Yeah, they have. They found it difficult to get those results. And you say, like, when you play the big teams, you're always aware that if you don't get something out of the game while you're on top, they're always going to come back and punish you. And that's what's happened in the games that we've played. Your Man Uniteds, your Liverpools, your Chelseas, is that you've got to take your opportunities. And we spoke about the chances that we created and the opportunities that we've had. And it's all about being clinical. It's all about making sure that you put the ball in the net. And that's something that we've struggled with this season so far. But if you look at it since we've been in the Premier League, never been a massive goal-scoring team as well. We've always found it difficult to score loads of goals, but we've always defended pretty well. And that's something that we've got to try and do better. We've got to try and create chances. But more likely we've got to take those chances. We've got to make sure if we get it, can we put it in the net?
What was your record like here, Sam? And have you got any advice on what it takes to come here and get a result?
No, to be fair, I remember doing this game last year, the one that we're watching the highlights now. Really unlucky, late goal. I think this might be a bit of a slip. I think on the right hand side, we'll see in a minute. It was just you just have to stay in the game, and like Tom was saying there, you're not going to get loads and loads of chances against the top sides. But when you do, someone has to take. Saying now, obviously Jimenez coming back has been a huge thing because he is an out and out centre forward, and that was the unlucky goal last season. They've done everything, barring a little bit of luck, really. I think to get a result against Man United, really unlucky. Dominated the game earlier this season as well at Molineux, and unfortunate to lose the game. It's just, I think the top clubs, if it's a 50-50, they generally win them a little last quality or last little bit of luck or something like that to just see them over the win line. And that's all Wolves need to do, is just turn that screw a little bit, like Tomo was saying earlier, get the game right in terms of the attacking, but not being too open defensively. And it's only a little switch, and all of a sudden, I think Wolves will be a very, very tough team to play against, which they already are tough to score against, so it makes them hard games. I think going and score 2 and 3 goals a game, it just makes the games easier.
Very quickly then, you got 20 seconds each. Start with you, Sam. What's your prediction? What are you thinking tonight?
I fancy Wolves today. I really do. I've seen a little bit of United over Christmas. They've been on TV. I think they're there for the taking, and I'm hoping that Wolves really go on the front foot with the front three. Really press the keeper every time he's got it. Press the centre halves every time they've got it. Phil Jones is back in for the first time, and say, "Go on, if you play through us, you're going to have to pick us off." High energy, and I think Wolves have got a real good chance today. Try off the bench later on to win the game.
Tomo, are you as confident as Sam?
Yeah, I hope that we come out. I know we've not had a game for a couple of weeks, but hopefully we're up for this one, as we will be, I'm sure. I'm going to go for my usual 2-1 Wolves.
Okay, I think, listen, if we get a draw, it always feels like a good result at Old Trafford. But Wolves haven't won their opening game of a calendar year in the Premier League. Manchester United have won 5 of the last 6. They've never won here in my lifetime. Maybe, just maybe, those results, those historical moments.
It's got to change sometime.
Got to change at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe today.
Broken. My records are 4.
We shall see. More from Sam Ricketts at half-time and full-time on our exclusive commentary, available via the Wolves app and wolves.co.uk. Tomo and I will be there very shortly indeed. Have a very happy new year, everyone. Fingers crossed today is the day. We'll see you in a second.
He's an awesome father. He plays a lot with Arya.
He's just the most laid back, kind, generous, decent man you could possibly imagine. I think he's a lovely guy.
Honestly, I thought from the very first time I met him, not just as a footballer, but as a person, as a human being, how much he would fit into our change room.
I think the fans sort of instantly took to him and knew that they had a striker of real class.
He's so talented, he's so athletic, he's fast, and he's a goal scorer.
It was a normal day, just watching the game and waiting him to come back home.
There's a frightful clash of heads there as I think David Luiz collided in to Raul Jimenez.
The noise, that will stay.
Is he alive? Is he alive?
At the time, we didn't know if we were going to see him again, really.
Please wake up, please wake up. Just move a little bit, just to know you're alive.
And then you start listening, Code Red, and you start thinking, is he alive? What's Code Red?
It's one of the most horrific things I've seen in my life.
It's really hard to sum up, how we all felt at that time.
Here in Mexico, it was really a painful moment.
Everything changed that day. It was a global story. You know, everybody was desperately keen to know how he was. Is he going to play again?
Can I ask you first about Raul? Can you tell us how he is?
Just give us an update on his comeback. What's the next step for him, do you feel?
I know it's very early, but any indication as to how long he can be expected to be out for?
Raul Jimenez.
Raul Jimenez. And Raul?
Fairly early on, he told me that he was thinking he was going to play football.
So strong, confident that he was going to play again.
His character, his optimism, his belief, his smile to the problems. He's so strong to solve it.
Le decíamos que le siguiera echando y que tuviera fuerza para poder seguir adelante.
De hecho, llegamos a pensar, o sea, en cosas que...
Para salir adelante y para regresar a hacer lo que más ama, también es una fuente de motivación para mí, para mis hermanos.
I think he should take a lot of credit, a lot of pride from how he's bounced back from such a horrendous thing and a horrendous injury.
I am so proud of him.
I really love him. Really love him.
I want to be the same, but at the same time, I want to show more, that I can do more.